Check your levels.
My levels.
Level.
Bop.
Level. Bop.
Bop.
That's so bad. So welcome to the Nerd Store podcast. My name is Kyle. I'm the host, like always, and joining me in this crazy podcast that we do is both Hayden and David. We'll be talking a little bit about the NES Classic, and David will be doing a poor job at defending Nintendo while doing this. And
a lot of assumptions here.
yeah, that is a very valid assumption. And then,
defense.
of course, like always, our huge love of everything Blizzard.
Welcome to the Nerd Store podcast. My name is Hayden T. Smith.
We don't really do that until the end, but...
Or
and do I actually sound like that? Is that what I sound like?
Yeah, you sound like a...
You know, like, I go out of my way not to listen to YouTube and listen to myself, so...
If you would look up on the internet, like, Kyle Ricketts impersonation,
that would
best
be number
Kyle
one.
Ricketts impersonation, that was number one. Like, that, there's a video of that just now.
Is that like...
Isn't the future amazing?
Isn't that like SDK Kyle, not BDK Kyle?
Yeah.
Super deformed Kyle. I think it was...
Anyway, we'll move from that joke. So I got something to talk about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, is this video game court?
A little. Yeah. So a certain company has made my life very difficult.
Okay, so we're going to do this as an actual court. So I'll be the defendant.
Yeah.
And Hayden will be the judge here.
Yay! Where's my gavel? Give me the closest action figure.
NES Classic came out on Friday.
It'd have to be a WWE action figure.
And
Slap!
to not surprise anybody, it sold out. There's a problem with it selling out, in my opinion, though.
I'm sorry.
Limited?
This seems to be a bit jaded. I think you seem to be too close to this action. I'd like you to take a step backwards.
Take a step
mellow
back.
out a little bit.
Deep breath. Okay, so
my company, Nintendo, has released what we would call an offering to fans, long-suffering fans. We called it the Nintendo, whatever the hell. What is
the
it?
NES Classic.
Yeah.
That one, yeah. Yes.
You're doing a
NES
great
Classic,
job,
yeah.
by the way, defending them.
So anyway, this is a wonderful it looks like a small Nintendo Entertainment System original. And it has 30 magnificent offerings from Nintendo and other partners we had at the time of the NES.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Plugs into the HDMI on your TV. So functions it's just, we feel it's a nice way to just have that nostalgia back in fans' hands.
Yeah.
For a very reasonable price, we're mad at.
Oh yeah, no, $60. That is a really great deal for 30 games.
So, what's your beef, dude?
So, my main issue, and I already kind of assumed that this was going to happen, but I didn't think that it would happen to the degree that it has. Shortage. Always a friggin' shortage with Nintendo. Okay? Now, retailers did not have enough to sell. They didn't have enough to keep up with the demand. And I know that there's a lot of people that probably typically go out there and buy this stuff because they know there won't be demand, they'll be able to resell it.
Company's product?
Okay. No, it's not that. Like, I know that there's going to be a certain popularity behind it, but people haven't been able to stop talking about this since Nintendo announced it back at Comic-Con, right? Like, people have been talking about this thing non-friggin' stop. So...
One quick question the judge has is, were you able to pre-order this system?
No.
Awesome.
That was another issue. Now, and then that's just stateside. In Japan, you were able to pre-order
But in
Famicom.
Japan, you got a different machine.
This is true.
In Japan, you got a Famicom.
Yeah.
And the thing about the Famicom, I know one of your points is the controller.
Mm-hmm.
Controller thing, because that's everybody's thing.
Yeah.
In Japan, you can't add an extension because the original Famicom had the controller, it just went straight into the box. There's no plug. So it's just part of the machine.
Oh,
so when they remade it, they did the exact same thing.
Oh, really? They did
with
the same
short
thing,
cables.
Huh. That does suck.
Your company is not
like
looking
Nintendo.
good.
Like that is one of my complaints is that the cord for the controllers are only 2.5 feet long. And I know that we wanted to resemble as close as we possibly could to what the original Nintendo was
Yes,
like.
if we just scale everything down, like, okay, this thing is half the size of the controllers or half the length.
I mean, to be honest, the original Nintendo controller when it first came out, it probably was about 2.5 feet long, and that's the reason why everybody has bad eyesight now and has to wear glasses, is because we were literally staring right to the TV in order to play our video games.
The thing about that is, like, when you'd sit down to do play the Nintendo,
yeah,
you'd pull it out and like sit it in the middle of the living room.
Yes, this is true.
And like you'd sit on the couch, but I think this is. Hayden, you probably don't remember this because everything in your life has been wireless.
This is before my time.
Like you were the
like everything.
You're like that French guy in the old 360 commercial. Like his mother was just constantly vacuuming up your cords. Remember that? It's like
no,
this is Jacques.
I had an original Xbox and PlayStation.
There was a control they did, like it was or commercial they did.
Well, but even then, they'd already understood that like our controllers need cords need to be longer because people were having no choice but to buy the extension cords. Now, there are two things that I have issues with this cord specifically. One being the fact that one of the reasons why Nintendo didn't want to make it longer, or actually, there's two reasons why they didn't want to make it longer. One, they wanted to be as true blue to the original Nintendo as possible, which I can understand.
Did they say that?
Sure.
Sorry, did my company say that?
Yeah, I don't know if they used true blue.
Here's the thing that before you go into this, I know what you're going at.
It is honorable.
Yeah. So the way I look at this, here's a mini version of the NES.
Yeah.
We are not redesigning the console because that defeats the purpose.
Okay, so there are still redesigns, and that's actually what I'm about to jump into.
It sits in the middle of your living room, just like the old one did, with the short cables.
You can't do that.
But that's the thing, is like this was a product that was designed for 1985.
Yes, no, it's true. Now the other thing to note though is that the power cable is like a mini USB for charging your phone.
Nice.
That is what the power cable is now.
All right, I'm out. This is not canon.
Yeah. It's HDMI. The HDMI cable is not long enough either to be pulling it out into the middle of your living room.
Stop right there.
So,
have you ever effed with RF switches?
No, I've never had to.
My gosh.
Component cables, my good friend, are the ones that I've been using.
Yeah. Like it makes me think back in the old days. Good old coax. Screw in the little cable in.
Well,
it won't screw in.
I still have that for cable. Still had to deal with that in my giant Sony Trinitron TV.
Yeah, but you would do that, and then if you're lucky enough, you had the little box that had the cable cord plug into it as well. If you didn't, you had to go buy a whole other cord to make it work.
Well, I remember the guy that returned one of his classic systems because he didn't have the input into his TV that could support that.
Yeah, with the Super Nintendo.
So then that system sat in our the store for 6 months.
Yeah.
It's probably still there.
But, so, they had to redesign the controller, though, because the ports that are on this new NES Classic are not the same ports
They're the ports from the
Nintendo
Wii controller.
Yes, and the reason why they did that is they wanted to plug it into the bottom of the Wii remote. Yeah. Well, yeah. But they want to be able to plug it into the bottom of the Wii remote. That way you can use it as a classic controller as well.
We here at Nintendo feel that
I understand all of this. I understand this. The problem is that they're like, we're not going to extend the cord because it wouldn't be the same as the original, and we're not going to extend the cord because we want to plug in the bottom of the remotes. And if you've got a 10-foot cord plugged into the bottom of the remote, it's not going to do anything for you.
Have you tried playing Super Smash Bros. With our new controller? Because you can do that.
Can you really?
I believe you can play Super Smash Bros. With the RF cord for the original Nintendo. No, my point here is just it was a bad joke about how Nintendo will support any kind of controller for anything ever.
Yeah. But
if you'd like to play with the garbage GameCube controller of Super Smash Bros., we'll let you do that.
Or the garbage N64
because we accidentally slapped our name on the controller one time. So, well, I guess we're stuck like this forever.
Yeah, exactly. But so those are some of my small issues currently with this NES Classic. Now, the system itself, it's awesome. Like, it pays homage in all the best ways. Mm-hmm. You open the box up, has the friggin' poster that came with all the systems. That had Rob the robot in there. It has the NES, the NES with the gun sitting there. Somebody's playing Duck Hunt.
I have an NES still in box. Controller's bagged. Mm-hmm. In styrofoam and everything.
And it's got the poster in there, doesn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
I pulled it out and went,
Like, when I opened that up and I saw the poster was in there, I was like, holy freaking crap, this is actually made. Like, there were points that I was definitely geeking out while I was doing it. So there are definitely some positives to this. And I mean, the 30 games they
I put it
chose.
away and I said, you know what? I will pull this out when I need a real strong dose of member berries.
Yeah.
Like, and the games that they chose 30 really great games. Like, I'm not going to say that they chose wrong. Like, there are a few. No, I know you will because Blaster Master's not on there, and I'm not going to say that they couldn't add more. Now that's more.
Aren't you supposed to be
I'm going to jump into
Nintendo?
that. I'm going to jump into
What?
that. You're supposed to be defending them.
Yeah,
you're
you're
not
on
doing a
their
very good
side,
job.
right?
You know, there's a strong line to where Nintendo begins and David begins.
So. The other issue, like opening this up, plugging it in, hooking this up, plugging it in, geeking out the entire time. I go through the catalog of games. I think that's awesome. I go into the settings. First thing I check, does it have any ability to hook up to the internet? Because I figure, they could just sell me more games. You know what? They sell these games for like $5 a pop, right?
That sounds like a great idea. Or we could just sell you another $60 console.
Okay, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into that. Hold on one sec.
What if this one was blue?
They sell these games at $5 a pop on the eShop, right?
Yes. So you
for
just got
original
30
Nintendo
of
games.
them.
And I just got 30 of them for $60. Great deal. Great deal.
An amazing.
Now let's just say, had they provided an wireless internet or just some way of plugging the internet into this thing and I could download more games at $5 a piece.
Let me tell you why.
$5 a piece.
Let me tell you why
Nintendo would have been making money off of.
We here at Nintendo feel that is utterly retarded.
Okay, why
and
is
we
this?
use that word heavily.
I gotta hear this reason, Nintendo.
In fact, Miyamoto's constant refrain around the office is just like when he walks by somebody's office, he knows the guy's like, "Hey, retard!"
Oh man, I don't know how well this is gonna go now.
But he says it with a smile.
He says that with that same dumb smile he always has. He's like, "Yeah, I am a retard."
Whatever you say, man,
makes you feel really good about yourself.
No, maybe being a retard ain't so bad. Anyway, so the thing about this is, if everything about this is a trip down nostalgia lane, where just dotted with the member berries, you're building this console that you're not selling to Kyle Ricketts, video gamer extraordinaire. You're selling to Kyle Ricketts Sr., your father, or your people that are older. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, I remember playing the NES. Like, maybe I'll pick that up. Like, this thing was designed to be on a store shelf, so someone can walk by and go like, man, I remember playing Nintendo. They got Mario and Super Mario 2 and Super Mario. I love those games. And like, he's gonna take that home. Like, I never tried Mega Man. My friend had that, but I never got to get too far into it. Maybe I'll pick that up. Like, $60 is an easy buy-in for that guy.
Well, yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. No, and I don't disagree. But if here's
where the plan fell apart.
Yeah.
My company, Nintendo, we accidentally put our name on it.
Okay.
So you'd rather it be a third party.
There is a rally of the Nerds Across the Universe. Oh my gosh, you're out! We gotta get to the store and buy it!
So, yes, I understand where you're going with that, but with Nintendo having such a huge catalog of games in general...
Wait, you're saying there was more than 30 games?
There's more than 30 games, and there were, way more than just good 30 games. There hundreds of great games that were for right? At least 31. According to Dave, there's at least 31. But no, they're
my point is,
they should have given the ability to allow you to jump in hey, there is one game that I always enjoyed having in my collection that I'd like downloading, and then having that option to do it.
As much as I would like to say that the ability to download Blaster Master onto that thing would make this, from perspective on that product, if you're putting this in front of your parents, they're not going to know how to put their credit card into that machine and download from whatever website.
But that option doesn't necessarily need to be meant for them. That option is meant for people like me, meant for people like you, meant for people like Hayden, who's never experienced the original Nintendo and all its goodness. That's who they should have put that option.
Decentness.
No, there was a lot of good.
Sure.
The original Nintendo needed to happen. We wouldn't have what we have today.
Video games are a lot like
they
age.
Because
and in a lot of ways,
Nintendo revitalized
the same way that
cheese
ages, it also molds. So
the system is
that-
moldy
what may have
cheese.
tasted great back in the day now kind of tastes like mold.
I don't think so. So to get back into it, I plugged it in, I hooked it up, I played it. My wife and I, we played Dr. Mario, and she kicked my ass.
Nice.
I realized how sucky I am at Dr. Mario and how great she is.
You're
The
like,
things
"Let's go
that
back
she
to
was doing
Dr.
with those
Luigi."
pills, I'm like, how are you doing this? You are like a magician with Dr. Mario.
I definitely had like one of my friends had Dr. Mario. We never got it at our house, but like his parents would play that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a game we played. Like they kept that in their room so they could play. That was the
Gross.
only game they played.
Well, so did you ever, like, when you were a kid and you would mess with the options, you could mess with the options and move all of the, like, diseases up to, like, 99, where, like, it's almost impossible to win? My mother-in-law can beat that level.
Do you play
It is
Tetris very much?
ridiculous. What's that?
Do you play Tetris very much?
I played the crap out of Tetris on, like, the
Okay.
Game Boy. Oh, I
So I
loved
beat
Tetris on the Game Boy.
Tetris.
Yeah.
Where you start from level 1 and go to 99.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't it just start over, though? Like, isn't...
No, like there. Maybe on the game. Sorry, the version I played. This was the 3DS version or the
okay.
DS version. It was like the first one that came out that was like super expensive. Like after it came
Yeah,
out.
it's, like, super hard to find, and...
But like that one, it would go to it was like clear 100 lines or something. But like as you clear, I don't even know if it was 100, but like it was like you go from level 1 to 99, and, and it gets progressively harder. But when you clear the last line, like that's it. Like you win Tetris.
Yeah.
Like the only way to do that harder is to like just set it at 99 the whole time. But like that's the kind of like Tetris is a game I played a lot. Like that was kind of my introductory puzzle game, and I can play it at a high level.
Yeah.
And I understand how that speaks to a person, to be able to play on that high level.
Yeah.
Like my mom and my sister can do Tetris Attack.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's shoot. They'll play Tetris Attack. My sister can throw out like these amazing combos where she'll just throw that enormous block on top of you. Like, okay, that thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines deep.
Yeah, like, and they instant, like, it's jumping in their head instantly. Like, I was watching, like, because there was a point that I was like, okay, I'm just going to let Alana win, and I'm going to watch how she's playing. And, like, I'm just watching her, like, I don't know exactly everything that's going on in her head, but she's figuring these puzzles out, like, at least 3 or 4 turns ahead. She doesn't even know what pill she's getting, and she's already knowing what she's going to be doing in, like, 3 to 4 turns. And I'm like, how is she doing it? Like, I know people can do that. You do it with chess. I've done that with chess. I don't know how you do it with something like Tetris or Dr. Mario. But my point is, with the NES Classic, like, this is what it's supposed to be doing. How we're having this conversation about this stuff, we're geeking out about these moments. This thing should be in everybody's hands if it can. And Nintendo just recently announced that they stopped production on the Nintendo Wii U. Okay?
A marvelous system, really.
A great system.
Crowning achievement.
I'm sure they absolutely love everything about that system at this point. However, let's say they quit production on that, I don't know, 6 months ago. It's not like they had any uptake in sales in the last 6 months with it. So they stopped production with that 6 months ago, and they started production on NES Classic in the same production area. They would have had, I don't know, probably anywhere from 10 to 20 times the amount that they ended up shipping on November 11th.
Let me ask you, did you think when you first saw this thing announced, did you think that this would not happen?
So, and that I do want to go back to that. I knew that something like this was going to happen. But when I'm thinking,
because
when they're providing 12, okay, I'm giving you actual numbers, 12 to 10 GameStops. Each GameStop got 12 of these things. And you have anywhere from 30 to 50 people in a line, and you can't even take care of half of them? That's crazy. And not only that, but retailers like Walmart, Target,
Kyle,
for instance.
Kyle,
Target got like
30
4
to 50 people waiting in line for NES games in 2016.
I mean, yes.
These people don't need to be taken care of. They need to be slapped.
Now, but the thing is that, like, but look at what it's done for us. Like, we're sitting here, we're talking, we're geeking out, we're having this moment.
Here's the difference
about
here. Like,
what we grew up with.
If I want to play an NES game right now,
you just pull out your old NES
I
and
could.
dust it off and
I
play it.
probably actually wouldn't pull it out and play it, though, because I'm not even sure if our TV's to put
So,
I would go buy a Retron 5 now.
Okay, yes.
because I think that actually has better features.
And then, and actually,
than,
yes, and that's actually my next thing I was going to say. When we sold out, okay, first thing I did was I pulled out my phone and I looked at eBay. Okay, people were already trying to sell this thing.
$99.
So
$500 to $1,000 is what they're currently going for.
There was one on there for $50,000, and I knew that one was just like that's somebody being silly, obviously. But that's the ridiculousness of this is that like these people aren't even playing it; they're just turning around and selling it. And then Nintendo comes out by the end of the 11th and saying, "Don't buy the stuff online. We will make sure that we replenish these retailers." Mm-hmm. Now, is that Nintendo just trying to scramble and say, "Okay, we don't want them. We want them to buy our products"? I will speak
for my company. So, have you heard of the Nintendo Switch?
Never heard of it. I've only heard of the NX.
No? Explain this to me.
Explain the Nintendo Switch is this new bullshit thing we're coming out with in March.
This is not defending them.
No, this is. So we need people to care about the Nintendo name.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Wii U?
No.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because nobody did.
Yeah.
You guys effing remember the NES.
Oh, yeah.
So, what is happening right now?
Everybody's freaking out about Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
What is the name again?
Nintendo.
Like that. Okay.
And I know what they're doing. It's massive, awesome marketing.
3 months from now, 5 months from now, whenever the Switch is coming out, that name has already exploded again in people's minds. Like recently.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Nintendo is doing a new thing. I better pay attention. I don't know what the Switch thing is, but I know what the NES was.
And they sold out right away.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure I have this.
Yes, this is a way like it's
going to drive sales.
Yeah, it's a tactic to increase the sales on that and bring their name up in pot. Like it's a artificial way to wipe away the negativity of the Wii U.
Yeah,
and it's working.
It's working. It is working.
Hand signals. Hayden's board. New topic.
I do want to jump in, and I am going to emphasize this to people: don't buy the stuff that you're seeing on Amazon or eBay from anywhere to $500 to $1,000
because it'll be marked down to $30.
There is a point that Nintendo will probably flood the market, and you'll end up getting it for half the price or something.
But I mean, if
the chances of that happening, considering they literally dropped the Wii U price down once from $350 to $300. It's pretty slim, but nonetheless, you could still get something for $60. What's that?
This thing is going to Walmarts and Targets and places where they worry about shelf space. So it's not necessarily Nintendo marking this stuff down. It would be those places where they can afford to do that.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, as far as that goes,
this is the kind of product that they want in as many places.
I'm telling you guys, wait. Don't even if you want it for Christmas, build something that says I owe you an NES Classic. I'd do something like that and buy it later.
5.
That was my next thing. Or buy a Retron 5. Because, I mean, with the Retron 5, you're able to play...
It's a much better machine anyway.
There are issues with it, but...
the issues with that are in such a different league than what the NES Classic is.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like, it's... If you... Just the simple thing like ease of streaming is better on that machine.
Well, yeah, no, exactly. So, the Retron 5 is definitely where it would be at. You would have to purchase the Nintendo game separately, which can be costly depending on which game you are looking for, or you could get really lucky by walking in a pawn shop and they don't realize what they have and just buy it outright that way.
Sometimes grandparents do garage sales, or parents, they're just like, well, my son, he used to love them.
Or look for a retailer that sells this stuff secondhand that tries to stay within reason of selling these games.
In my basement. It's the only thing I've had to remember him by.
I need to get rid of it because I'm about to die.
Decided I hate this child. So
yours was a lot funnier than mine. Mine was pretty dark.
Containing his hopes and dreams, I would like to give to you for the low price of $2 American.
Or free.
Or free.
Just take it out of my house. No, you'd be able to find tons of moments like that by buying this stuff, but...
Okay, new topic.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? What's the new topic?
Okay. Jeez. Like, you kind of just interrupted what I was talking about anyway.
We hashed it. We got it. We got it out there.
We got it out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy the Retron 5, don't buy the NES Classic.
Hayden, you were the judge. What was the ruling?
Oh, man.
Okay, sorry.
The ruling is that Nintendo's in deep water. They should have already learned this by now because they've had tons of other products that have done this exact same thing, and hopefully they fix it before the Switch. And if you're out there looking for one, just shut up and wait for a couple months until you can find it.
I don't think you're paying attention.
I mean, like David said, it is a marketing point. It really is.
Well, sure.
Like that's like everybody's gonna be talking about Nintendo for the next few months now, all because Christmas. It's all because of Christmas. Everybody will be talking about, I want the NES
Nintendo's
Classic.
a Japanese
I want
corporation.
the NES Classic.
And they
I
saw
want the NES Classic.
They saw what they did with the Wii and how that exploded, and they did the exact same thing where they have a fake supply shortage and then slowly trickle things out, and it keeps it in popularity.
I'm confused what I'm judging. Am I judging whether or not this was like a sales tactic to shorthand these things, or am I judging whether or not...
This is a fake court, so whatever verdict you come by is correct unless I decided it.
4 out of 5 bananas. That's my score.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay, what are we talking about now? You want to talk about Battlefield?
So we've had a couple of great first-person shooters come out this year.
Couple
Couple of them. There's a
Yeah,
couple of them.
It's like,
We're going to go with a couple of them.
Okay.
Specifically, and
So
these are all
let's
under
run
the
through
same
them.
publisher hat.
So Overwatch,
Uh-huh.
Titanfall 2, Battlefield.
Destiny.
We don't talk about that word anymore.
I have the back of my hand ready. And then I guess if you want to throw Call of Duty in there.
So, like, yeah, no. Like, saying a couple of them was more of a cheap stab to some of the companies that may have not done as well with their first-person shooters is, you know, companies like Respawn, DICE, and Blizzard have, you know, over the last year. Let's jump into Battlefield 1 and Titanfall, specifically.
Okay. So, you guys haven't played Battlefield 1?
We have not.
Have you played Battlefield 4?
I played the crap out of Battlefield 4.
Played Battlefield 3?
I did play Battlefield 3, yes.
Played Battlefield 2?
Like, where are you going?
I played Battlefield 2.
So you played Battlefield a little bit?
Yeah, I've actually played quite a bit.
Okay, so what is the
of
flow of battle in Battlefield?
What?
In a Battlefield game, what happens?
You battle
No.
on a field.
Well,
Wrong.
I mean, you have points that you need to take.
Remedial
and
classes.
You have points you need to take, and
Yes.
you need. It's more team based.
You spawn an American flag base and you say, all right, we're supposed to capture A. And there's a whole bunch of other points out there, but A's the closest, so I'm going to ride over there. You join a game in progress in this analogy, by the way. So you run over there because all the a-holes on your team took the Jeeps. And you run over there, it's like, all right, here we go. Start capturing A. Bam! Shot by a sniper that you can't even find. Yes. That is the picture of an average Battlefield player. So you run out there and die. And be like, okay, well, there's a Jeep here this time, so at least I gotta take that. And then get out, capture the point, try a little bit different here. Bam! Shot by a sniper. Run over there again. Bam! Shot by a sniper. You spawn. Bam! Shot by a sniper. You're in the menus. Bam! Shot by a sniper.
You're in the menus. Bam! Shot by sniper.
You go into
So what you're saying is that you're having issues
bam,
with
shot by the
snipers.
sniper.
Yeah.
So
Why
Battlefield's
do
always
you
been
equip
this
the
game.
shotgun every time?
Okay, so if you're not killed by a sniper, the only other thing that's going to be there is an effing tank.
Yeah.
And if you have the shotgun, it means you got the assault kit, so you can take out that kind of crap. But yeah, like that's kind of always been the fundamental thing wrong with Battlefield is you spend 5 minutes running across this enormous map to die immediately. And then you get to do it again and again and again because there's some guy sniping. That has never been fun once. That's only fun for the guy sniping. And that, unfortunately, is a major, major problem for Battlefield 1. Because the level of effectiveness of your weapons against the tanks is, like, it's World War One. You know, like, there's
not a whole lot of weapons that are going to help you with the tank.
You just have a grenade, right?
Like, you can shoot the planes down.
Now, I know this was World War II, but we've all seen Saving Private Ryan. No. What I mean is, like, we've seen Saving Private Ryan.
Yep.
How they take out those tanks. Those little sticky grenades.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like,
yeah, what if those sticky grenades didn't stick?
Yeah.
It turns out they just bounce off the tank and they just drive away and you go, well, boom. That did nothing.
Well,
I learned nothing.
uncrouch. Hit me now, sniper. Take me.
Yeah, so like, that game is fun. Like, when
Well, no.
when you
Like,
don't have to deal with that. And there are
I
some
100%
maps.
agree. Like, I love the Battlefield games, but no, that is an issue. Is the sniper stuff?
It always has been.
I've always seemed to try and find somebody that knows how to snipe when I'm playing, and be like, okay, your job at this point is to find the other sniper and kill him, because inevitably there will be some sniper on the other team that needs to die immediately.
Now, do you feel like this is also because you've been playing this game alone, as opposed to having friends that can
That's
be
the
with
thing
you?
is, like,
in
I've been
Jeeps
playing with a
and
couple guys
planes
from
and stuff?
my work.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
Cool.
playing with them, like, it's been fun. Now, the time that I had the worst was I was by myself.
Yeah.
However, like, there's this
I
big...
think in general with multiplayer games, it's like that now, though.
Well, the thing about it is, like, there's this enormous desert map.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, like, wide open. And there's rocks, like these big rock outcroppings. So what guys will do is they'll go get into the airplanes, and they'll fly them out, and then just parachute off and land on a part of the rock where you can't get to otherwise. And so they'll just sit up there with a sniper and rain down all the points. Now, one guy you can deal with. What if half their team was doing this?
Yeah.
So this team had half their guys up sniping in these stupid rocks. And then the other part of the team would run out and capture the points after they were safe, and then run back. Now, this may seem like a just genius strategy, but what about the effect on the other players? Like, when I see that, like, this is like the seventh game that I got into of Battlefield 1, and I get into this and go like, well, this is the same game that I've played across all these years. This is the exact same thing. It still has the exact same issues. Why did they think this would be fun? Like, why do they continue to do this? Like, the only people, like, if they're going to make a game about this, why just not have all snipers all the time?
So my question for you,
Why even put in the work?
My question is, why is this game, Battlefield 1 specifically, getting better reviews over, let's say, Battlefield 4? If it's the exact same game, it's just a different era.
Well, it's probably more polished, and
I mean,
the
the
time
bare
period is
mechanics
different.
So
probably
on
the
the
same.
other thing is, like, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that is this is the
But I mean, even Battlefield 4 for the time, I mean, we got to remember that
Battlefield
game was
4 looked
originally
fine, but,
designed
like,
for the 360 and PS3 and got upscaled for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and it still looked really great.
Well, it's-
I mean, aside from
everything.
the
It's
technical
Frostbite.
issues with the online,
It looks
where you
great.
couldn't
Like,
get into a match.
if Battlefield's a game, like, it has its following.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I like these games. I do think the idea of, like, a 64-player Battlefield is fun. But there needs to be a culling of these, like... Do you really feel like that is healthy for an environment to have it just... We favor the sniper?
There needs to be more,
No,
like,
definitely not.
more game design oriented around the map design.
But like, yeah,
Essentially,
no,
right?
exactly.
So, like,
well, and I
if in a
think
map like that, where it's
the
all
problem
wide
is
open,
I think when the
snipers.
designers are doing this, they're doing like what I do. Like, I try and find somebody like that I'm being put in games with that knows how to snipe. I'm like, okay, if you're a good sniper, that's your job. Like, you are to do nothing else but search for the other player on the other team that is going to be
The
sniping.
thing about it is there are maps where, like, they break up the map enough with just its topography where that isn't an issue.
Yeah.
Like, there's this big forest map you play in, and, like, that one's, like, just the terrain of, like, these hills and stuff and trees just breaking everything up. Like,
It would be almost
was-
impossible to snipe.
you can, like, there are, like, points you can take, but it's, like, you don't need a sniper rifle in that case. Like, a carbine
Yeah.
is enough, and, like, it ends up being, like, this big carbine match, and that is actually fun,
Mm-hmm.
and pushing with that kind of stuff. And there's, like, this rocky hillside that you're playing on, and, like, that one looks super amazing. Like, that was one I got. I'm like, this game is amazing looking. Like, there's just, you know, it's like the Sound of Music, where, like, there's, like, super rock. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh my gosh, guys.
So,
And there's, like, wildflowers on the ground and stuff.
I kind of like the game sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
So let me jump into this. I want to play devil's advocate a little bit.
Okay.
So Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty like literally almost got announced at the exact same time, right?
Yep.
Like within days of each other,
Mhm.
as far as what they're going to be doing. Battlefield 1 came out with like huge applause. Everybody was saying this can be great, this can be amazing. Call of Duty comes out and it kind of falls flat. So my question is if Battlefield 1 is doing the same thing that the last two Battlefields have done at least,
But it's not.
and
really
Call
the
of Duty
same.
has literally been
It's-
the exact same thing
They're treading new territory with.
because of a different era?
Yes.
Like, I
An
mean,
era
I
that
could
is, like,
I'll give it
there's
that
no
because of
other
the guns.
World War I game out there, really.
Well, yeah.
It's not at that scale. Like,
But I
it's-
mean, does it
it's the guns, it's the environment.
like does that do enough though? Like just the fact that we're using guns that people
Like,
have never used
Could
before?
it be a mod, or could it be like an expansion to Battlefield 4?
Yeah, exactly.
that's
Like let's say
here's the
let's
World War
say
I
Call of
map.
Duty. Okay, Call of Duty's been
All right,
has
to
been
answer that
progressively
question,
going into more modern.
Could you charge $60 for that? Would people pay $60 for a mod? Would they pay $100 to play that mod early?
I think people would probably pay about $40 if they just had it as a 25 gigabyte.
No, I think I think you totally could sell that. Yeah. Like if you told them like, hey, you have Battlefield 4 already.
But at the same time, David's right, where they could release it for more money.
For
but
like
that also
$60,
that still means that they're having to make all these games physically.
The other side of this that we aren't addressing is that the Frostbite engine is significantly updated. Like you played Battlefront, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
And Battlefront looked amazing.
It looks even better in Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Like,
really?
It really.
That's actually a surprise because I'd like after playing Battlefront, like I still attest that was the best looking game last year, hands down.
Yeah.
Like there was no better looking game.
You stumbled, like you put that game, and you just accidentally stumbled into Star Wars.
Yeah,
the movie,
like seriously,
not the game, the movie.
Yeah,
like, you're like, just like it was just the way like
the Rebels looked amazing.
When a laser shot,
Stormtroopers
when laser shots would hit the walls.
Yeah,
and like had that dumb like firework explosion.
Yeah,
like that fake movie effect of just like.
It looks
this
perfect.
would never happen anywhere, but it happens in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
and it's happening here. Like it's just like it all of a sudden because I saw it on a TV screen, this feels right, and because the game emulates that so perfectly, it feels right. But anyway, yeah, like Battlefield, I haven't touched any of the campaign. And the there was like a
typically the Battlefields, I don't really jump into the campaign.
They say the campaign is actually pretty good.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good. Because like I typically don't touch Battlefield campaigns because normally they're kind of boring. Like I'd rather play a Call of Duty campaign than.
They have like this opening tutorial where like you're cycling. You have this guy like narrating, and you cycle like it's kind of like a. Okay, you're playing this guy in a like he's just a foot soldier, and they're like you hear the whistle blow, that signifies like okay, it's time for the guys in the trenches to get out of the trenches and go attack. So, in each of these situations, like you do that, and like he dies, and then you like put into like one of the goofy tanks. That tank ends up dying.
Yeah.
Like basically, in each of these things, like it is designed to be an encounter where you die, but you are slowly overwhelmed, and it doesn't feel like okay. I'm always know that at this part, it's like I last until I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's still fun, like you're still getting by on your own skill, but it's this eventuality of like I am not going to win these fights, and like the guy's narrating, it's a very solemn tone. Like it does do justice to like here's the World War I thing.
Yeah.
On the American side of things, like it's not something like we really discuss a lot in school. So like, and I feel like it's gotten like less so with like every generation. It's like yeah, there was World War I, it was a thing, and that's pretty much the end of it.
Yeah.
Whereas like World War II, like we talk about that forever. The level of detail they have in like the battlefields you're going to, like that's very like it feels accurate. The way your guns are firing. I got a telescoping sight for one of the sniper rifles, not sniper rifle. It was a carbine, but like when you look through it, it was just this little like tiny circle with a piece of glass there that was kind of magnified. But the way it was built, like it. Like when you look at that old crap, like it's got like grime all around the outside of it, the outside edge. It's like when you just like it's like squinting through dirty glass. This is exactly the sight on that gun.
Oh wow,
it works, but it looks as crappy as it would have because like I'm running through mud and crap.
Oh yeah,
it's not a clean weapon, like and that was to me like that was like.
So are those the kind of nuances that we should just start expecting?
That is the kind of nuance that I expect from like a historically accurate game like that.
Well,
not necessarily historically accurate. Like, okay, we fly biplanes and parachute out of them on the rocks. So
I mean, if it's a futuristic, like there's still grime and dirt and dust and.
But that's the kind of thing where
you have to deal with.
It brings like that little level of realism, where like, yeah, all these guns are crappy, and so you just find the best one that just it seems less crappy than all the other ones. It's like
it's actually going to shoot at your target
that you feel like you're doing the best with.
Okay,
but it like that's the kind of thing. The outfits. We've got the Ottoman Empire. Who? There's a bunch of countries in this game that don't exist anymore that you've got armies for, that you've got weapons and uniforms and vehicles.
Yeah, like empires that have fallen. Yeah, since then,
like that's too. It's like it is a time capsule, a digital time capsule, where you walk in there, like because of the care that they've taken to look at this stuff, like you get to see a pretty accurate depiction of this stuff when it was in its prime. Kyle was so bored with my conversation here, he just walked away.
No, keep going.
But basically what I'm saying is like I like it for that kind of stuff. And I see how like that can affect other people other than myself. Like it's cool to see that.
Yeah.
But on the point of like I guess to kind of roll into my other topic was I was playing Titanfall. I'd play Titanfall right before I'd play with them, and to snipe in Titanfall, you can get like a couple kills, but that's pretty much it because the level of options available is just like, well, there's a guy sniping over there. I'm gonna cloak and get right up next to him and knock him out. I'm gonna.
Hayden's about to die on us, but to jump in on the Titanfall thing, like, well, but that I think that has a lot to do with the type of game that game is, though. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like maybe that was the answer to the sniper.
That in my opinion, that was.
You know what I mean? Because like you couldn't. Somebody's in a Titan and they see you're sniping at them. The Titan's just gonna come up and jump on you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's. Like you can't.
A lot of them just shoot you from a distance. Like,
yeah, or that too.
The bullets, the size of the bullets that they shoot at you is so.
But like, I get killed more just by people than like Titans themselves. Like Titans themselves, I can stay at a distance and use my heavy weapon to like knock them.
But if you're
down.
Up close to them, like
sure,
with a charge rifle or something, like you can.
But you gotta like get on top of them. Like if you're in distance where they can kill you, you just have to go for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing is like even at a distance, like a lot of like the guys will play Tone, which is like kind of he has a DMR, Titan with a DMR.
Okay.
So like, it's very easy for him to just like watch, and like he just has to like line his thing up and like basically his whole cursor, as long as it's you, it doesn't matter. Like if he tags any part of you with his shot, or lands that shot right next to you, that shot kills you.
Yeah.
You are just disintegrated into nice little meaty bits.
Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense. Like, the size, like you were saying, the size of
it's balanced and it really, it's strange, but that game is balanced extremely well. But, like, anyway, going back to, like, the snipers, like, I've got an ability where my kit is that I've got the stim. It's like, basically, like, for a few seconds, I run super fast, and my regeneration is through the roof.
Okay.
So it's perfect. Like I run into a building, I hit the stim, run out the backside of the building, and jump onto a Titan that was chasing me, and he doesn't know what's going on. Or I watch a guy go into a building and like I stim and run around the other side. Or just there's all kinds of stupid things you can do to kind of just get out of trouble. Stim, run onto a building, like jump onto a building and like jump 3 times and you're out of the way. It's just in that game. This is a different topic, dude. This is Titanfall. This is not Battlefield.
Fair enough.
But like that, the way you deal with like a sniper he doesn't get to be in the same place. And in tradition, it's like what he's used to in other games. Like it is so easy, traversal is so easy, and the battlefield shifts so much in that game on just a constant basis. Like they just, the basic match is like 6-on-6.
Yeah. And I mean, if somebody gets their Titans beforehand, or like someone moves their Titans and then the other team picks them up.
You know, at the start of the match, like even like in the pilots versus pilots matches, where it's just you don't get a Titan, that's just it. You fight all over that place. Like you'll maybe split up at the start of the map, like 3 guys will go one way, 3 guys will go the other, but you guys kind of all coalesce on the same area because you hear gunfire over there, and then that rolls all over the map. Like you just kind of keep chasing each other, and like gunfire doesn't really stop. It's just. It just keeps, like, the battle just keeps shifting, and it's because of the mobility that you're allowed in that game. Whereas, like, in a place like Battlefield, like, you're fighting the same control points.
Yeah.
And it's the same, like, in Overwatch, you know, like, Overwatch is very, like, they design those maps to have choke points, and you fight in those choke points. Like, okay, you defend here, because if you don't defend here, you're going to lose your defense for doing it somewhere else that wasn't designed for it.
So, jumping into Overwatch, though, like, I wanted to talk a bit more about Sombra.
Real quick. Before we transition.
Okay.
So
now we're not transitioning. You're my transition.
Well,
I'm just letting you know
this is the one point I wanted to get out. So I love Titanfall. Like that's probably my favorite game aside from Overwatch that's been out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it.
As far
plays
as a
amazing.
first-person shooter, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not World of Warcraft. Wow. I got a corgi in there that follows me around and just doesn't shut up. This is great in Battlegrounds. But anyway, there's a. You've got this thing in there where you can set your data center, which is all right, which is nice because like I've got mine set to Salt Lake City, so like that basically allows you the minimum ping.
Yeah.
And like that's great. More places should do that. If you've got better ping, connect to another data server, do that. That's smart. But the other thing it does is there's networks you can connect to. And like the one you start off was like, is this the Advocate network? And the Advocate is this nebulous being that just sends you gifts when you level up. So it's like, when I leveled up this, oh, you've got a random Advocate gift. And you open it up, it's like, oh, you got 3 credits. oh, you got a skin for your weapon. Oh, you got a banner. You got a skin for your Titan. Like there's all kinds of just garbage that he's just going to feed you through that.
That's kind of cool.
Anyway, the network named after him is just the default network that the most people are playing in. However, there are networks that like IGN has made, Giant Bomb has made.
So you have like clan. You can have like clan networks.
That's basically what it matches. I'm not sure if it matches you only with people from that. I know it matches you with teams based from that, but I'm not sure if it splits the groups of like, okay, only people in the IGN network do I fight.
You know okay. I mean? Okay. Yeah.
And because I wasn't sure about that, I actually went back to the Advocate network because there was more people in there. The reason this matters is because as of last night when I was looking at it, population is estimated to be about 20,000. And the Advocate group that I was with, there was about 800 people online when I was playing.
Oh, okay.
That's not good.
Wow, yeah, that is not good at all. Now, the one thing we do need to note is that, like, they've already said that these games are not performing as well as that they were hoping. Like, as far as, like, Battlefield 1, Call of Duty, Titanfall 2, like, Christmas hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
And...
This is the thing is, like, a lot of...
I think that these population servers, I really hope they're planning for this, to be honest. I hope they're prepping hard. Because I get this feeling that once Christmas hits, these servers are going to get overloaded.
It's fresh meat day, Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best day.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best thing ever.
It's like Christmas.
You know? Yeah.
In more ways than one.
We got Christmas coming up, and I think that a lot of those population issues will probably get fixed and solved. And unfortunately, Titanfall 2, you can tell which game EA was backing. And we kind of...
It's on the Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
How crazy is that, Kyle? Think about that for a second.
All right.
The game that's on the box of Mountain Dew has 800 players.
I know, but EA is putting more time and effort behind Battlefield 1 as far as marketing.
That's 800 players in my region that I get matched with.
Well, I know.
Not necessarily.
No, exactly. But that's still obviously an issue there. And Battlefield 1 outsold Titanfall 2, probably doubled Titanfall 2 sales, if not tripled, and Titanfall, unfortunately, on the Xbox One when it first came out, it was a great game. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. You and I played the crap out of it, pretty much.
Yeah, I enjoyed that game, but it suffered. It was a game that felt like a extended demo of a game.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was complete. Like there was definitely parts of it that were missing, and
that's a game that
they even did a season pass, and they dropped the season pass, and basically gave everybody that stuff for free. So people like me.
That's
was super excited about the season pass, paid for it for no reason.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That is a game that so it was very obvious they were used to developing with Activision, and they didn't think about the things that were going to cause them issues like that.
Yeah.
So okay, in a game where you've got millions of people buying it every year, you can have that separated audience where okay, these guys bought the season pass, so there's even if we split the audience here, the numbers are so big that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But in Titanfall, it was well, you've got...
Yeah, it's a new IP. The only thing that people know about Respawn is the fact that the majority of them worked for Infinity Ward.
Those guys bought the season pass. These guys didn't.
Yeah.
These guys bought the first map pack, but not the second. These guys bought the first and third.
Yeah.
These guys only bought the third. It's just this. It's splitting your player base up so granularly. Okay, well, nobody can find a game, and that game did fade out.
Yeah,
you can't get on there and find people to play with. And Microsoft, like you said, they put out the season pass content for super low rates. At one point, it was free. I believe they came out Titanfall for free at one point.
Yeah,
and
now you can just buy all that stuff for free now. Anyway,
you can't play a game in there.
Yeah,
that's.
But I think that's the reason why Titanfall 2 probably hurt. Not to mention, like I said, that EA was definitely backing their bigger IP with Battlefield 1.
This is 2020 hindsight looking, talking they were able to do this because of the bigger numbers. That is, that's the state of the market at the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The free, with what Microsoft's been doing with Halo, where, and Overwatch to a greater degree, where...
Well, and then Titanfall 2 is actually doing it too, to the same respect.
Yeah, and I think it's a result of, the other two. But, looking at this going, okay, if we fund it this way, we don't have to charge for a season pass. We can give every player this, not split the player base, have a better experience overall.
Yeah.
And I think that's great.
Oh, it is great. I think the smartest thing they've ever, with Overwatch, it's the most brilliant thing ever. Hey, you want to buy loot boxes? buy loot boxes. You don't have to if you don't want to. You're probably going to because you want these cool costumes, but at the same time, like, I don't have to worry about paying for any of the extra content they're going to release. They're going to release all the maps to me, just like they're going to release
if I don't want to, like my brother,
all the characters.
He doesn't really buy the Overwatch boxes.
Yeah.
You know, like, he just earns them, and he's fine that way. Whereas I've spent a lot of money.
Probably on the more than what a season pass costs.
Yeah, but at the same time, like...
Oh, absolutely.
There's this dumb thing I've got in my brain where I go, like, well, it's just Blizzard. Like, it's just fine.
You know, it's like anyway. I always say that, like, when it comes to Blizzard and myself, I'm like that tween girl that's paying attention to her, like, her favorite.
It's a nice shirt you're wearing there, Kyle.
Yeah, my Overwatch shirt. That, like, her favorite, like, pop star, you know? Like, if we want to talk my age, you know, like, the Backstreet Boys are in sync, the girl's just like... It's like, oh,
yeah, it's like a
Winston
weird.
I love Blizzard so much. World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, give me more. You know, like that is definitely me.
He's such a tortured soul.
But to jump into Overwatch,
real quick, I'd like to wrap that up with just.
Didn't you say that like 10 minutes ago?
I said that on Battlefield.
Okay.
I said this on everything. We need to wrap these things up.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, Titanfall. If you're not playing Overwatch, Titanfall should be the game that you are playing because it is the best as far as just like flow of game mechanically. Like, it is fun. It is something you haven't seen before. You should be playing it.
I've even been told the campaign is actually pretty good.
It's amazing. Like, well.
Yeah. Like, surprisingly enough, considering Respawn and Infinity Ward, like, they didn't really do anything with campaigns. I don't care what anybody says. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Definitely Modern Warfare 3. They don't have great campaigns. They're not exactly...
Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, I think their campaigns still stick out to me. Like, there's certain aspects of that...
Maybe I just couldn't get myself into it.
When I say campaigns, I'm not talking about the story they're trying to tell there.
Yeah,
but there's definitely like
crazy
set pieces that you're fighting on.
Okay, that
like the sniper mission with the ghillie suit.
I can agree with that.
And the helicopter.
That's the one like a lot of people talk about, but for me, it's not the one that I think of.
Really?
It's like the gridiron where you're going into that prison at the end where you find what's his face?
Kravchenko. It sounds Russian.
Captain Price.
Price. Yeah.
When you're going through that, it's like it's called a movie like Gridiron or whatever. Like,
I can't remember what it's called. But...
Yeah, Gridiron's wrong. I've never seen the movie to even know what the name is, so that's great. But
so prison.
But yeah, like that where you're fighting through the prison. And there's so many guys, and you get like that riot shielded.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That was a fun.
Well, and I mean, they did. Like, I will agree with that. Like, there were parts in the campaigns that could stand out aside from a standard first-person.
It's not necessarily like campaign. The story aspect.
But yeah, like the story, I was like, nothing was really
moment.
Pulling me in. Mm-hmm. Like, it's more of like, hey, we got this really cool. I don't want to say gimmick, but that's kind of what it was. Like, there would be like small little gimmick to the map for that part of the campaign that they would kind of drive you to want to play it. But why not? Like, you can't tell me you can't hire people to build a good story behind that gimmick. You know what I mean? Because
they're already working for somebody else.
Well,
BioWare.
I mean, yes, but there's still people out there that they could, like, even hire temporarily just to build them a story.
Whenever I read the name BioWare, like, I always, like, oh, that's the software company. When I hear the name, it sounds like a company that makes underwear.
I mean, I guess I can see that. Just, yeah. But on to Overwatch, though, because I do really want to talk about this. We kind of talked about it briefly last week.
Have you guys watched any of the competitive games that BlizzCon, like the championships?
I watched all of them.
I watched some.
Okay.
I was working at the same time BlizzCon was going on, so like the majority of my content of watching BlizzCon was trying to catch up with all the Q&As. A lot of World of Warcraft, because like I said, there was a lot of World of Warcraft stuff that they went over. I watched a lot of the Overwatch stuff. I didn't watch the Q&A with the voice talent though, and I really need to do that from what I've been told.
Yeah, it looked great.
It's great.
Yeah.
So, real quick, I know you want to talk about Stomp, right?
Yeah,
so I'm going to lead into that. But like when you watch those things, like you see Overwatch kind of distilled into like its purest form.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, these teams are attacking in like perfect waves. They're not staggered out like we usually do, like split up, like they attack in, like there's specific things, like it's almost like they have plays that they're going for.
I guess they do. They have coaches, therefore they have
And
plays.
they've got names of, like, this is the blender, this is the big bang attack.
Is that what we need? Do we need a coach like to play this game? Like, do we need to find somebody that specifically just watches us?
Hi.
No, wait, no, because you're still playing it. Like, we need a person who
Like,
is just
sits behind
watching us play this game and telling us what to do, like what plays we need to make. I mean, that would be nearly well, actually, it wouldn't be impossible.
They announced those city teams, so like we could be the West Point City team, man.
That'd be so cool.
That would be pretty cool.
What I'm getting at though is like you'd see, like pushes going against each other. Like you saw like primarily there's a good number of characters you don't really see played a heck of a lot by the professional teams. Like there's always Nana and there's always Reinhardt.
Yeah.
But there's Reapers there every freaking game.
Yep.
But
we talked at length about that character.
Yes, and I played him again last night and he was utterly ridiculous. But
he played Reaper a couple times.
I played Reaper. Like,
he stooped to the lowest level of which he holds other people.
And then I went and got 73% hook accuracy with Roadhog.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's nice.
And I was roping Junkrats, like crouched hiding on top of buildings and hit their head with a hook.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't see too many like Symmetras.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Symmetra was only played in one of the matches that I watched over the entire BlizzCon.
Well,
yeah, and you'd think she would be more valuable with that teleport.
But to be honest,
I guess that's another
she's
way
actually
that it staggers
undertuned. They've said that she's undertuned.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people complain about the fact that she's undertuned,
Yeah.
and I think
Zenyatta is overtuned.
Yeah, like where
He's
we
a ridiculous character.
We play certain characters ourselves, but like even though we try to jump into the competitive nature of what Overwatch is, we're not pro gamers. Like we're not sitting here from sun up to sun down playing this game, trying to get better at it. But, so there are certain characters we'll still play that
but
the pros
a lot
won't.
of people were watching those Overwatch finals.
Yeah,
like that was incredibly popular. And the thing about that is that everybody watching those finals was playing that game.
Yeah,
everybody that watched those finals learned things.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So what you're telling me is I need to actually watch these finals.
Well, people are.
What
a lot
I'm
more
saying is, like,
play
if you're playing competitive play, people are playing at a lot higher levels now because just of watching that stuff and go like, okay, we should be doing that. Because
it sounds like what we do for World of Warcraft. Like, I mean, we watch the videos and have down a boss, and then we just play it.
It's a bit.
It's competitive, which is different.
Yeah,
so
it's PvP, Kyle. Remember Dark Iron?
Well,
Dork Iron?
Well, no. Like, and I understand what you're saying, but like they're teaching them things that you wouldn't really do
high level play that you don't see otherwise.
Yeah.
High level strategies that were just like they're hard to defend against. Like when Zarya blows her ultimate and they pairing something on top of that, like it's basic play for a lot of people. But the level at which they're communicating that and like planning these things around that, their team makeup, like that's the kind of thing that you're seeing that penetrate a lot lower level of audience and like bringing that whole, basically the base level of play has risen to a lot higher. There's a big gap between competitive.
So we get to this point where people are now learning these things. Do they need to introduce a character, let's say, to possibly turn
on
the
the
tables?
Point of that, when you watch these kinds of the play, where you see like these two teams where there's the guys defending and here's the guys attacking, and like they're both kind of moving up slowly to each other with their Reinhardt shields, going to clash. Like as I'm watching this, I'm just thinking, okay, what effect does Sombra have on this?
Yeah,
and this is exactly what you were getting at.
Yeah,
I'm just coming at this different.
No, you're fine. You were fine.
But what I mean
is what I wanted.
like her effect on this kind of stuff, like I think she will bring things to, like they say she's overpowered. Having replayed on the console, like we haven't had a chance to touch her yet.
Well, but and not only that, but the PTR has only been live for a week.
But she's supposed to be out next week for
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Next week? I thought earliest maybe December. Because I haven't seen it.
No,
I haven't seen
like they announced Ana and then she was out pretty quick.
I mean, I guess that's true, but
like they
probably didn't need as much balancing. So at BlizzCon they specifically said that they're not sure when they're going to release her. They said that it could be as early as the following week if they don't need to do any major tuning. But if she's overpowered,
I hear a lot of things from different places.
I mean, if she's overpowered, I don't see them releasing her out to the wild and let everybody destroy everything.
People say Bastion's overpowered. Has he ever been nerfed once?
Yeah. It's because he's really not. There's
He
ways of...
really is. Like, his clip could be a lot smaller. He should have to reload.
You say that with everybody, though.
No. Roadhog could be a lot bigger.
I mean, you say... We've said the same thing about...
When you watch a
Reaper
Roadhog...
as a character, as far as his clip needs to be smaller.
Yeah. I think you should have to think about your shots.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a tactical thing for a first-person shooter. Like, you need to think about... like
No, it's not that I don't
a
disagree
shallow
with
clip
you.
size.
It's kind of like what I was talking about earlier, is that we're not as competitive as, let's say, the high end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you watch these high end guys play this game. How many Bastions do you see actually play in these matches?
A lot of them, actually.
A lot?
Mm-hmm.
And did they seem like they're overpowered, or did it seem like
I think
people could take them out if need be?
If people are supporting them, then they're pretty good.
The Bastions are a target.
Yeah.
Like, they are the point defense.
Mm-hmm.
And the team has to play around that.
Yeah.
If they do not support their Bastion, he falls and the point falls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is the thing. Like, it's kind of the same thing with your tanks. If they're not properly supported, they fall. Because, yes, they're taking the brunt of the damage, but they can't sustain that. But
I mean, that is how Bastion's supposed to be played.
yeah, no,
So.
you're right. But, I mean...
But, so whenever I think overpowered as in
should have to
this
plan a reload.
character can play multiple types of
Mm-hmm.
the class specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, here's what I mean. It's like a Roadhog.
Mm-hmm.
A character that I main a Roadhog. I have an intimate relationship with that big fat man. I have to...
Sounds really gross.
How intimate.
That is actually a very that
Yeah.
is a valuable question. How intimate are you with him?
Every game.
Yeah, every game. You're looking dudes and blast him in the face.
He's the last one to pick a character.
Jeez.
We're all like, Dave, you gonna pick a character?
Yeah,
Is it gonna be Roadhog?
it's going to be Roadhog.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm the same way with Soldier 76. So
But, yeah, Soldier 76. You didn't get on and play. You got Hayden's text last night. You didn't get on.
so
You know, there's these guys, this Farah, then they go up in the air, you need to shoot her.
yes, I know. I was super tired when I got home from
I don't
work.
want to hear it, Kyle.
So there is no way I
Overwatch
was
wakes
getting
you
home.
up. You've got this thing here. It's broken.
So
The point
It's
is,
full
like,
of Mountain Dew. You can just drink that, play Overwatch.
with Sombra, she's going to act sort of more like Reaper, where Reaper has his teleport ability.
It's
She'll be able to
more-
like throw out something. It's the whole infiltration.
I would even
idea.
say like that is actually different because she's gonna pop that teleporter somewhere she can retract to.
Yeah.
Cloak, get behind somebody, hack somebody, and then like when they're turning to get rid of her, then she teleports out.
Yeah.
most of
that's
the time
how
when people
it's-
are using Reaper with his teleporting ability, his is more offensively used.
Well, it's a mix between him
Where-
and Tracer.
Well,
she's
yeah, but I think that
it's kind of-
Sombra
it's a
will be
tracer
more
you can't
defensive.
see.
Yeah, I think
But
Sombra
her
will be
effects
more
are
of a
going to be
defense.
felt a lot harder.
Like if you're running away from somebody as Sombra, and then you can
You know-
instantly teleport behind them, hack them, and then shoot them down dead.
When a team is defending, and you've got a Reinhardt out in front, and a Sombra gets behind them and hacks that one guy,
Yeah.
like that's an invitation for that team to fall apart.
Well, I mean,
You know
look
what I
at
mean?
like so we were just talking about Bastion specifically, okay?
Mhm.
Like where you were saying he's overpowered. Is Sombra a character that would probably change that effect?
Possibly.
Or
I think that's the
Tribune.
thing.
Like he's another one. They've actually nerfed him.
Yeah, he's not.
I
nearly
don't
as
think
powerful
he's
anymore.
like you don't.
Like
Again, you don't see him
I
on
think
the console.
I
don't
think
know
to
he's
be
gonna-
honest, like what'll end up happening is that they'll have to actually boost him up a little bit.
Yeah, I would
Probably.
rather see him boosted on the console now because he does feel so.
Well,
Weak.
to be honest, I think the main issue with him is that Sombra was Sombra was technically supposed to be a launch.
Mhm.
She was supposed to be available when the game came out, but they needed to rework her a little bit, come up with some better ideas.
Mhm.
So I think the hacking
Change
thing
her
is always
neon
something
to
they were going to have, and that would have she would have been an answer to a lot of the issues that game had early on.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing is like I feel like the way it is now, you got your high level play and like the way play kind of establishes itself is like okay, you guys group up and clash against each other and like. A lot of the fun of that is like, you know, the way Roadhog plays is he hooks a dude, pulls him out.
Pulls him out. You have an intimate relationship with
Yeah.
Roadhog
Roadhog,
and pulling
yeah.
dudes out.
But what I mean is like I end up grabbing dude and pulling him away. I might not go for the easy kill. It's harder to get a Tracer. I don't even need to be worrying about her. What I want to do is grab a Reinhardt when I can or get him off his balance so
So
my
she can-
team can get in there.
Yeah.
And pull off each of their have their own fights.
Kind of pill away the
Mhm.
group.
Yes. I believe there's a book you can get in World of Warcraft called Peeling the Onion.
That's same concept, same idea.
It's written by Drekthar.
Drekthar?
Yeah.
Makes
Sounds
sense.
like a psychology book for ogres.
It's a psychology book for how to play friggin' Alterac Valley. Nobody reads it.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, Alterac Valley.
Ready?
So, did I tell you that I am exalted with Stormpike?
Are you?
I am. I have the tabard, sir. That was from my old days. I got that.
I wish I would have bought that. They charge honor marks for it now.
Oh, really?
20 marks for the tabard from them.
Oh.
Let me.
You just bought it when you got exalted with them.
1 second. So there was a time where they're selling honor stuff for gold, old stuff, and there was a time where that cost 500 honor.
Yeah.
So to put things into perspective, an honor piece, right now, for old stuff, I was looking at the warmongering stuff for Draenor, it costs 2 marks and 3 marks.
Oh, that's not too bad.
You can get a whole
it's real cheap.
set appearance of the warmongering gladiator set.
Without even doing any real PvP, I have
12
15 marks.
For every piece.
Sweet. I can go buy my set.
I think at 80 for all
So
the
how much
set.
is the Stormpike?
20 marks for the tabard.
But you got to remember how hard it was back then.
How hard it is to get that reputation up and then have to pay marks to get a tabard that is an appearance that does nothing.
It's true. However, that gear doesn't do anything at this point either. It's literally just for appearance. Now, the difference is...
So don't charge
if
honor marks for it.
But if you're getting exalted,
If they wanted to have me spend
you're going to have
500
enough.
gold for that.
What's your reputation now? What's your reputation
I
now?
am exalted with the Frostwolf clan.
With the Frostwolf clan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you're exalted with the Frostwolf clan, how long have you been exalted with them?
2 weeks? A week? 2 weeks?
So you've been exalted with them for 2 weeks. I'm sorry you jumped on that boat so late.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can help you with that.
Yeah,
However,
what I'm saying is yes, the state of
let's say you were only we're not gonna say revered. We'll even say revered.
Mm-hmm.
You went into this expansion revered. You had to go from revered to exalted.
Do you have to be exalted by the tavern?
What's that?
Do you have to be exalted by that
You have
tavern?
to be exalted to buy the tavern, yes.
Okay.
So the one thing to note is that if you're grinding that rep, you're obviously going to have the marks at that point to buy that tavern.
By the way,
just from revered to
just so
exalted.
you know, you speak to the beloved.
That's awesome. Congratulations, man. I actually started looking into mine. I was like, mine's really not too bad. I might do the same thing David's doing.
Yeah. It's that kind of thing. You've been playing a long time. It's just a mark for that other people can see. It's the World of Warcraft. It's a dog and pony show.
Yeah.
And there are certain things if I have that, people know I've been around a while. I'm serious about this stuff. Check it out, Lore Master's colors.
Yeah.
Ladies, you see.
You
this
would think that I would have more of
chest?
these, considering I've been playing the game since the beginning.
But it's all busy work, it's.
Well, it is. It really is.
It's the kind of thing that's designed to be earned. One piece at a time.
Well,
not
the problem that I've been
once.
having is that I've been playing it more competitively than I did in the past. I'm all about rating. I don't have time to do the extra stuff right now because I need to farm to get the mats that I need for potions and for all that stuff. So it's making it harder to do all that extra, an alt. At this point, I probably would have an alt leveled by now. At least leveled. Maybe not really played and geared and stuff, but at least leveled. And I don't.
I've got an alt. I've got a hunter and hunter.
Yeah.
One's beast mastery, one's marksman.
Marksman's better.
My beast mastery hunter has a lot higher artifact knowledge than my marksman.
So as long as you're doing your knowledge,
they're identical in progression. I just barely surpassed my marksman.
Oh yeah.
In just. They were both at 837 when I went and checked. I'm like, holy crap! And you were at 6, and my hunter was at 11 for artifact knowledge.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
So
public service announcement.
Yeah, since we're talking about Warcraft, and this is what I was going to bring. I'm sure this is what you're going to say too.
November 15th. Yeah. Anniversary.
We have the anniversary. Yeah.
Buy a corgi.
I will.
You're going to log in.
IRL.
You're going to want to log into Warcraft this week, and normally they give you a couple weeks, isn't it? It's normally a couple weeks they give you.
It seems like at one point it almost lasted a month.
Yeah, I
Not
don't know
for,
if
like-
they'll go that long this time around.
That was when
but-
it was like it was just a reputation buff, you know.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
back when
But
the dark days when I
they
started
always
playing
have
WoW.
like a pet. or
That was
something they
okay.
give
That
you.
was they haven't always had that. Kyle.
Okay, I guess
Because
that's true.
they had that when
Now we get to listen to David complain
yeah.
that he wasn't playing the game.
they
Yay.
give out these
When
great
they
like,
did the-
hey, you want an Onyxia pet? Here.
The Nixia
Happy-
pet. and
happy
the-
birthday to you
the
guys and
Blizzard,
us.
The Blizzard Bear. Did you get the Blizzard Bear? Were you playing?
F off.
Oh, that's right. That was Lich King, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we got in Cataclysm, we got an 11% experience and reputation buff.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Woo!
Anyway, you're going to want to make sure to jump into that this week or sometime next week in order to get your anniversary stuff. But I want to talk about Legacy servers real quick because this has been a hot button on the internet as far as what came out of BlizzCon.
Okay.
Push.
And what's funny?
Okay, real quick. When you say hot button, this is a thing that around 47 people want.
I
But
don't.
they won't
yeah,
shut
I do
up
not
about
disagree
it.
with you, yeah.
And they talk on every single forum.
Yeah.
We're in legacy servers. We're in about. What
So-
about me, Blizzard? I feel left behind.
I could agree with people that there's probably a point that, like, you could tell that going into Draenor,
Mhm.
people were kind of exhausted with World of Warcraft. So it didn't seem like it was just as popular right at that point. And now with Legion coming out,
You know,
it's definitely got a lot more
on that
of
subject,
that speed behind it than it normally does.
I know a lot of people didn't play Mists of Pandaria,
And I thought it was great.
and that was the thing is, if you didn't play Mists of Pandaria, you were wrong.
Yeah.
You were
Like,
flat out wrong.
the
That thing was
zones
a
were
breath of
incredible
fresh air.
looking.
That was what
The
Warcraft
characters
needed.
that they introduced were awesome. The end of the expansion, I wasn't a huge fan of.
I liked it. I don't like it in the fact like I like Garage Hellscream, but
Yeah.
it helped. It was like this thing like where you discovered this whole new area. Like
Yeah.
it's a kind of it was a larger scale of like the starting zone for the Pandarians felt the same way. Like you forgot at the end of the expansion or the end of the starting zone you were playing World of Warcraft until like you walk out there's like, oh, I know those guys.
Yeah.
We're in Azeroth again,
Yeah.
and like you got that same kind of thing with like there'd be trolls and guys and like and your other races of Azeroth on Pandaria, but like for long periods of time, like it felt so different.
Yeah, it was extremely different.
And like it
Kind of like, I mean, Legion's kind of that way too, to be
Mhm.
honest with you. I mean, we have the Highborn elves and stuff like that.
but it feels like with like the High Mountain Tauren.
Yeah.
Like and stuff like there's races and races that you don't, but like they're meshed together in such a way like it feels very refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas like with Pandaria, like at the end of that when you were like you feel like, okay, this has been so great being out here, and like the thing that like felt so grating was that like that endless war between the Horde and Alliance, like that where it just seems like it keeps escalating, and like we're hurting Pandaria, this gem we found, and they're hurting it because Garrosh is so greedy, and like
Yeah.
you saw like
And I mean, you
lasting
do
effects.
feel really good by the end of being
Yeah.
in Garrosh. You're like, okay, good.
Megan to
Beat
this
him.
day, my sister,
Yeah.
like when you like the Veil of Eternal Blossoms, like getting into there, and like
Yeah.
and now going back there,
Where
like,
it's supposed to
all
be
effed up again.
Yeah,
and,
like
just,
it's like, and that's actually really sad when that happens
Mhm.
because
it was terrible. Like,
it was
spent
like
days-
they open this gate expecting you to bring amazing things to the Pandaren culture and to treat their stuff with respect, and we literally went we went in there and we just destroyed it all.
the Alliance.
Like the yeah, it was definitely the Alliance. I mean, the Alliance didn't help by warring with the Horde.
I
but-
saw Varian Rin peeing in one of those lakes,
Oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
just pants down right there, and
I'm
like
sure you did.
G Firepaw is just like, what the f, dude? I've got my
No,
feet
isn't
in
this
here.
too soon to be talking, bad about,
Varian
King
Rin.
Variant? Yeah.
Well, you got that. This is called karma, dude.
Jaina's just behind
You're gonna
him.
die because you
Good.
peed into a pool of
Good.
water. But
Jaina's throwing dirty tampons.
no, I completely agree with
Ugh.
you. There was a lot of story behind it. It was very emotionally driven.
She actually menstruates oil, by the way.
Ugh.
Oh jeez. Miss Pandaria was great, but the legacy server thing. A lot of people asked, like, why didn't anybody talk about it at BlizzCon? I didn't really care. Like, I've been playing since Vanilla. Vanilla was not great. Like, there are things that I remember in Vanilla that were awesome. There were moments that happened in Vanilla that were like, oh my gosh, it would be cool to see something like that happen
And
again.
for me, I came in Cataclysm,
Yeah.
obviously, because I never got any cool pets. But I still love hearing old WoW player stories. Like you'd think like that gets great. It's like went with current, but like I still like hearing that. But
I just do it to bug you at this point.
But like I talked about it before, like the 10th anniversary event where they had the Molten Core raid,
The Molten Core, yeah,
the Alfar stuff, and like going in there and having everybody from my generation know like nothing about what was going on in there, and going in there and pulling, 6 different packs of mobs over and like wiping the raid, and you're like, what did we just do? Why did we all die? And you're like, and like then there's the one guy in the raid that goes like, okay, I'm leading this. You do what I say or everybody wipes. This is not Siege of Orgrimmar. You pull 1 core hound. If you pull more than 1 core hound, everybody dies.
Yeah.
And like that was a 3-hour commitment, sometimes 4, getting in there. And that was amazing. And just like seeing the different strategies that people had. Like we had one where we ended up pulling a boss from like the lava pit areas.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up pulling like one of the bosses there all the way back into the room, and like the tanks and the healers went in there, and the DPS was just spreading an array around the room.
Yeah.
Where I think it was Gar where that boss was. It's like the tanks went in there, pulled him in there, and like the DPS, we fought him in that room.
See, so we're talking about that. So maybe that's what we need instead of legacy servers. Maybe we just need.
I would much rather see
old school
moments like
moments.
that. Just moments.
When
Yeah,
you do
like
the time walking weeks, open up the time walking raids.
Yeah.
And have there be something special that you can earn through doing that.
Yeah.
And like maybe have LFR quality raid gear, some appearances, mini pets, but like that experience of having that was the closest I think I've ever gotten to having an actual time machine.
Yeah, like
because it was like
filling the whole vanilla thing. Yeah,
this is something I missed, and I got to experience that, and that was like something. That was one of my top 10 WoW experiences.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like to go back to talent trees where you got like 5 talents?
No,
and you
I
had
hated
to
it.
invest
You know
all
why I
that
hated
stuff?
it? Okay, so the reason why I hated stuff like
Legacy
that, and I know a lot of people are like, we need talent trees back. I felt like I had more choice. No, you didn't, you moron.
You didn't.
You know why? Because everybody went online, typed up, what's the best talent tree spec for my class?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you did.
What about those
guys? There was no point to
and
it.
then
like
people
to
would look
explore.
at you and say, oh, you're not talent spec in the best way. Like, we're reading on the internet this week that this is the best one.
Yeah.
You're not spec'd right. You're not coming with us on this raid because you obviously don't know anything.
The talents that they have now are way better because you actually have choices. So as a hunter, because I played the crap out of my hunter, I have 2 AoE choices or a single target choice. Barrage, Volley, or Murder of Crows.
And even with like the honor talents now.
Yeah.
Like the stuff you can do with that on a hunter is crazy.
And then based on those, I can choose like what's going to fit my character for this moment. Instead of like where I have a talent tree, is like, well, no, I just do this because this is what's going to give me my top DPS. This is going to give me the best abilities that I need. There was no choice behind what you did. Mm-hmm. There was always a specific way you had to play it. There was always a tailored way to play the game.
Yeah, it feels very similar to Hearthstone in the way that, like, you're not Hearthstone. Heroes of the Storm.
Heroes of the Storm, yeah.
And, like, it just, the way you're able to tailor a character around, like, the way you personally play.
Yeah.
And, like, maximize the DPS through the course of, like, these are the things that I'm used to doing, so that's the way I play, as opposed to, like, well, it'd be nice if my pet did 12% more damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like, so I had this argument that the people in my guild, we've all been playing this game for a really long time.
Yeah, back when Zero Fate was a cool name.
Yeah. We've all been playing this game for a really long time, and one of the guys that I talk to all the time, we constantly have this bickering match about what Blizzard has done to like the state of some games. It's not really a bickering match, it's more of like it's a discussion, but how Blizzard will take something that's super complex and kind of simplify it.
All right.
And I was explaining to him
real quick here.
Okay.
There has never been a discussion on the internet. It has always been a bickering match.
Well, I mean, we like each other as friends.
Sorry,
so like,
Cal,
we're not going
what
to.
What was the name of your chat
other.
channel that you were using? What was the name of the chat channel that you have on the
Baron's chat?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Proceed.
Okay. So anyway, we're talking about how Blizzard has kind of simplified, the whole process. From being a super complex to simplifying it. And I explained to him, I don't always consider that simplifying. Well, what do you mean? It's like, it's pointless. There was no need for it.
Mhm.
So cut it out. You know what I mean? Like when you're making a movie, you have to cut certain things out to make it flow, to make it seem like this is the way, the direction that we want things to go.
Mhm.
With those talent trees, it made no sense because you were going online having to read up the perfect spec
It's
anyway,
like with the-
where we have these new talents where there's actual choices that you can make. Now, there are some that, like, I'm going to have to take this as this class. Like, I have no choice. I need to take this one.
It's like the Blizzard community has they do this with everything they do.
Yeah.
The Blizzard community being the player base. Like, the Evergrowth was a perfect example of that dungeon, where you'd fight that, like, there was a whole section that people swear, like, oh, if you guys just, like, do this 25-minute thing of trying to get up this stupid rock that you're not supposed to be able to get up, you know, we can cut out half the mobs.
Yeah.
We fight this dungeon. Well, if we just go fight these 3 guys and then move on, we don't have to do this stupid thing where we don't fight the mobs.
Yeah.
You know, but like if you got into a dungeon and you tried to go that other way, people would kick you.
Mm-hmm.
No, doesn't want to do a shortcut. Like that's the kind of thing that Blizzard has to fight against.
Yeah.
And like, okay, you're perverting the experience that they was designed for.
Mm-hmm.
And like the reason they did the talent tree thing was so you had choices.
Yeah.
But if those choices aren't going to be used in the way they were intended, then they need to get rid of that and put in something that does work.
And they actually addressed that a little bit at BlizzCon, where like they're still doing the same thing now, where people look up what are the best, spec choices for my class,
but sometimes
and they're trying to balance that.
Yeah, but it's still sometimes it is the environment that your character is in at that point. Like for instance, as a hunter, when I'm choosing between those 3 talents that I brought up, Murder of Crows, Barrage, and Volley. Mm-hmm. Barrage is meant for AoEing when big groups are separated. That way I can hit everything. Where Volley is more of a concentrated AoE, or Murder of Crows is purely single target. Like, I get to make those decisions for my character.
Wait, you use Murder of Crows?
What's that?
You use Murder of Crows?
If I'm single target, yeah. If all I'm going to do is hit a single target, yes.
He's not a good hunter.
No, I am a good hunter.
No.
Yes. Yes, I am. Yeah. Yeah, I am.
So,
anyway.
Hey, you know what's cool about Blood Elf Hunter? 2 arrows.
No, but the idea is that you would change those talents out. So, like, if you're in a raid,
who's your combat ally for?
Who is my combat ally?
Your order hall.
Like, you mean who do I choose?
Yeah, who's the one that follows you around?
Well, like whoever I don't use for a mission, typically.
Who is it?
Most of the times, it's Rexar.
Rexar.
Yeah.
I thought I knew
you. Who's yours?
Emerald.
That's
Since day 1, she's been on both characters.
For what reason?
The AoE.
The AoE's really not that great anyway.
It's great.
It's not.
It is great.
It's okay.
I will stack that, Stampede. I will pull massive groups, stack Stampede, Barrage, and then that. Mm-hmm. And then, once I know with my Barrage, Turtle Aspect.
Yeah.
And by the time that's over, like, I've pulled, 27 mobs, and they're dead.
Yeah. Well, my point is, though, when you're in a raid, and you're fighting a certain boss where you know there's not going to be multiple ads you're going to hit, right? You would use a single target. You have no reason to have an AoE. Your Murder of Crows will do more damage over time than your Barrage will. Well, they're, what is that dragon?
Onyxia?
There's a dragon at the beginning of Emerald Nightmare.
Onyxia.
No, Emerald Nightmare.
I heard it was Onyxia.
It's not.
No, that's the fact that I can think of that has the most ads.
Yeah. Like, if it's something like Onyxia, then yes, you're using Barrage. But
the whole point behind all of this is back to the servers, right? Isn't that where we started this conversation?
Yeah, we kind of started this. But my point is that there's been a certain quality of life that has improved the way you play World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And to go back, like seriously to go back and play vanilla at this point, there's classes that are so broken you can't play them. Paladins were literally only used...
Yeah. Rogues weren't always rogues. They were once called rouges.
Yeah. I mean, paladins were only used for their buff. They were only used for their buff. That was the only purpose of a paladin being in your group.
Buff part, dude.
Yeah. And not to mention, by the way, those buffs lasted 5 minutes. So have fun continuously buffing your group.
Reapplying them.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Because we're talking these fights, and that's the other thing. Vanilla fights, where you could probably get done with the raid boss... maybe 2 to 5 minutes. Anywhere between that. Some of these fights could take anywhere from 10 to 15. Like, these were long fights back in vanilla.
The other thing about it was, like, half your raid could wipe and you'd still get it down.
I mean, that's true. but getting a hold of 40 people
Mm-hmm.
for your raid, trust me, coming from a guy who is raiding constantly would be damn near impossible at this point. Like, that was the complaint that a lot of these competitive groups that do the raiding, when they did Mythic and they said, "Oh, you have to have 30 people," they're like, "What? You're gonna make us try and get 30 people? We can't just stick with the 10 or 25?
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, like everyone will be like, it'll be 30 people. Like Mythic raiding, you have to have 30 people." And they had a hard time. You saw a lot of those guys, a lot of those competitive PvEers go away. Those guilds dissipated. Some of them, merged. Some of them merged, but like that's just what happened because they couldn't find the people to.
Yeah, the Ottoman Empire had a really awesome WoW raiding guild, and they're not around anymore.
But the point is that like legacy servers, I'm not going to say it wouldn't be awesome. Kind of like how we were talking earlier with the NES Classic, to go back and play this stuff every once in a while.
Yeah, go back to vanilla and.
But to be as competitive with it,
RP for a couple days.
to be competitive with it, as people are now with World of Warcraft, it would be difficult.
That would happen, and there'd be a bunch of people that came in and did it for a month.
And and they do it for a month because they paid for a month's worth of time.
Yep.
Well, not even that. Like I said, if you just have a one server that's a legacy server up, and that's the thing you go to. Like, here's Burning. Like, you can even do it vanilla Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King. Go from there. And maybe I don't even think you need to do Cataclysm. But
probably not because
those
it hasn't
three
really changed so much.
Those three being the big ones that people always talk about. Well, this is the best time to be playing WoW. Okay, have those three. I think even with that, having the maximum amount of you cater to every retard on the internet that wants to have this kind of legacy crap. You have it for a month, and then you never go back.
See, and I don't think that'll happen because then people
they're going to
complain that they "Oh, you only gave it to me for a month. It's ridiculous."
No.
Or you mean the people?
I mean the people will play that for a month and then go back to a regular WoW and go "Yeah, that was utter garbage. Why are we doing this?"
Yeah.
But they've talked about.
And I know they keep talking about it and that they might do the legacy server thing. I don't think it'll ever happen.
The people that make noise about it
we're just thinking about it.
A very noisy minority where they post on every single forum they can about this stuff and try to get people up in arms well, they've left us behind. We're just not important to them. No, you're not. You're a unique and beautiful snowflake, and you need to figure something else out for yourself.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, if you're really not enjoying World of Warcraft at this point for Legion, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Legion is, I'm sorry, this is Blizzard's best. I don't think World of Warcraft could be better than it is right now. I'm sorry. I'm sure that somehow Blizzard, some way, will figure something out with the new expansion. But currently, this is the best.
Yeah. It's doing that is going back to, it's the guy that I love watching Saturday morning cartoons, but I always go and I make sure that I watch it on my old CRT TV so I'm not seeing it in high definition. And, I can only have the old recipe of Lucky Charms because that reminds me of being a child. It's this adherence to an old thing that you think is just this was
the
better.
Best.
This was, and it wasn't.
Yeah. No,
it's that.
It all relates back to the time
glass
of your life.
filter.
And I'll bring up the NES Classic. Like I said, I started playing it, and then I remembered 8-bit sucks, and the glitches and the issues that had the lag. It still has the lag.
It got Mega Man 2 in there.
We're talking a processor that is. I haven't played Mega Man 2 yet. We're talking about a processor that is stronger than what they had in the NES, and it's still lagging like crazy. It was fun for back then, and I still enjoy going back to it, but there's a lot of things that have changed over time. The quality of life is just there.
Here's the thing. I can sum this up pretty quickly. Mega Man 2 is a pretty awesome game. It's held as one of the best Mega Man games ever.
Yeah.
There's still that section in it where you have the friggin' blocks that you have to memorize that disappear. Maybe that was Mega Man 1. I think it was Mega Man 2.
That was Mega Man 2.
Yeah, there's blocks they appear and they disappear.
Yeah.
And you have to get that perfect.
Sound is perfect.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us today, guys. We're glad you took the time out of your day to listen to us fools talk about all this geeky, nerdy stuff. Please, I'm begging you guys, if you want to give us any feedback, let us know. We got Facebook. We got our Twitters.
Twitch.
Yeah.
got
YouTube.
Twitch, got YouTube. Please post in the comments. Let us
You
know.
can have your guild Zero Fate write in with some questions.
Yeah,
We even have a blog.
we
Yeah.
have a blog. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's built into our Facebook.
You
by the
can-
way,
you can post
It's only a
comments on the
blog
blog.
after so many years of it being good. When first I saw it's a blurg.
we
Okay.
wanna make
got a
sure.
blurg.
We want to do what we want to do, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we're giving you what you want to listen to. So if you could let us know how we're doing for you, that would be great. I know there's a lot of squeaking. We're going to try and fix that for next week as far as tables and chairs go. But
We're podcasting from the Ottoman Empire and things are old here.
thanks for joining us. David, what do you have for us? Signs out, sir. Yeah, it's a lot of blank.
Yeah. Just cut it off.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay.